few friends, many acquaintances. Getting help is one thing, but taking the mick is completely different, you know. And in my mind, that is exactly what. And that gives us all a bad name then. They're so quick to criticise. Or look, yet another homeless person sleeping on the streets, you know. Or get a job, or do this, do that. Do you think we don't want to? You know, we don't do this because it's easy. We do this because we have to.
And you didn't do this to yourself per se?
Not at all, no.
Once you identify a problem and are aware of a problem, it's half of the job done.
Absolutely.
Yeah?
Absolutely.
If we can get people behind this homeless situation,
I know.
we can make some real change. There is a GoFundMe link that's active.
Okay.
You remember it from the previous one?
I do, yeah.
So we did manage to raise £40.
Yeah, I don't expect anything, but you know.
Yeah, that would be awesome to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Rab, we meet again.
Hello again.
So it's the part 2 that myself and Rab promised you.
Yep.
Voices from the Unheard, which is what it's currently called. I might be changing it at some point.
No, that's a good title, that.
Yeah, you think
like
so?
That. Yeah.
So
it's appropriate. Yeah, definitely.
Do you feel unheard then?
A lot of the time, unlistened to. A lot of the time, you know, because we do get ignored quite a lot. You know, there are some decent people out there. Don't get me wrong, that don't really bother, but a lot of people do, and it's like even with COVID, man. You know, it's like, oh, can't talk to him. I'm like, you know, like we're more of a threat to them than, you know, and we're less likely, I reckon, to get it if anything. Because we're out and about all the time, you know.
And you're alone as well.
Yeah.
So actually, I've got a list here. So guys, Rab actually thought I was getting bored in the last video, looking at my phone, but it's actually a list, some notes here I've got. So we'll have a bit of a flick through them. So you mentioned there sort of being on your own.
Yeah.
Now, when this uploads, and it is actually currently around the time of Christmas, it's just past New Year's. It's a time that is known for people being with their families and that type of thing. And mental health is something that's sort of, I don't want to say in the limelight, but you know, everyone's talking about it.
It is, yeah. No, it is.
And it is actually very important as well, although I think it's blown out of proportion at times. I think it's an excuse.
There's a syndrome for everything, isn't there?
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I might have to edit that out because people like it. But no, we leave it in there. We're going to keep it real, innit?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Point.
Yeah.
I do.
But I mean, it's definitely an issue. So one of the things I did want, or topics I did want to sort of ask you about was loneliness.
Yeah.
I appreciate as a alpha male, as a Scotsman.
Yeah.
You know, it might be, you might not want to open up in regards to it, or you might not have any much thoughts. But I wanted to open the platform to yourself to speak about something like that. You know, from the perspective, from your perspective.
We have few friends, many acquaintances, right? And this time of year, for a lot of us that are on the streets, it's just another day. You know what I mean? And Christmas is for kids, you know, and we all know that, we all get that, you know, but it's, the time of year does get hard, because like you say, it's family time, isn't it, you know, and, but a lot of us, we have reasons for being on the streets, you know, family politics, you touched on that before, you know, and that makes it so much harder, mate, you know, and if you've got a situation where you want to fix it but can't, you're between a rock and a hard place kind of thing, aren't you? You know, you're dying to get back into that situation but can't, you know, and I was like that for a long time. I ended up just giving up because we weren't interested, you know, black sheep. So
yeah, that's something you did mention in the first video. So if you guys haven't watched the first one, I'll drop it in the description below, and I'll put it on the little eye above. If you haven't, obviously watch that one first and then watch this one.
Definitely. No, it's hard this time of year. I mean, never mind the cold and everything, you know, we can deal with all that. It's just because expectations as well,
I mean, sitting here, I'm sorry to be you know, I mean, to sort of rub it in a sense.
No, not at
but
all.
obviously these past few days, there's a massive emphasis. This time of year, people are going to be at home.
Yeah. Yeah.
Warm, as you say, at home together.
Yeah.
Kids are wrapping gifts.
And there's a few of us that are sleeping in here, for example.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We're kicked out at like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Just to get on with it, and what do you do? Christmas Day, Boxing Day, last weekend, shops were closed all weekend, so it's not even like we can go begging or whatever, Some of us find ways of doing it, but it's generally just a hard time of year, I reckon, not just emotionally, just actually getting through it in itself, but the emotion side of it certainly doesn't help at all. No.
Are there many people in relationships out on the streets?
I've seen a few.
Husband and wife. Is it and
boyfriend,
how,
girlfriend,
boyfriend, girlfriend.
Yeah,
how does that work?
Well,
does it work? Is
just how it would, if you like you and your girlfriend, for example, just the same way, I don't.
Sorry, what I
dodge
meant
it,
was, does it make things easier to have someone with you? Is what I'm asking, really.
It can do, yes, but it can also make things harder as well.
More complicated.
You've got someone else to look after, When you're on your own, if you screw up, it's on you, you know what I mean? If you don't make enough money for that day, then it's only you that suffers, But if you've got a partner, or if you've got friends who rely on you, then obviously you screw up, then it's them that suffer as well, but then on the flip side to that, when you've got a group, a couple or a group, whatever, it makes it easier sometimes as well, You have a bad day, somebody else doesn't, it swings and roundabouts really,
You come across anyone with children or anything, Carl?
I haven't, no. The closest I came to that was like, I don't know if they are or not, like the Romanians. I think they're Romanians anyway, but they'll go up and down puckling anyone who'll listen, asking for money, and I've seen them with kids. I remember watching a program years and years ago on Dispatches on Channel 4, and they were doing a thing on Romanians down in London who were sticking pillows up their jumpers to make them look pregnant, and then asking for money, and when they were going to give them, say, a pound or two, they were going, no, £10, and then, and I've seen that down at Tesco's, there's a few of them. One woman's asking for shopping at Tesco's, and she's coming out with like 3-4 carrier bags full of shop. I mean, proper rinsing the woman, and getting help is one thing, but taking the mick is completely different, and in my mind that's exactly what, and that gives us all a bad name then, and no, I draw a line at that one, and kids, no, I haven't seen. I hope I don't, touch wood. I really do. No, that's got to be the worst thing in the world. Short answer.
That's always a short answer. So again, just another topic. So obviously we had a sort of long chat in the first video. As I say, if people, if they've watched that, catch that. But it's just a few, I guess, kind of quick fire topics that I want to run through with this one.
Okay.
And I think we've hit one or two there. The other one is, and we did speak about sort of the will to live, right? And in the other one, and a phrase that you used, or what you said basically, and I still remember it, is sometimes you question sort of living and how you get on with things, and sometimes you wonder how you couldn't, why wouldn't you, it's almost as if there's everything.
I know what you mean.
And I just wanted to touch on that a bit more and go into that a bit more, and also sort of suicide. Is that would you, I know again it's very sensitive, but
it's not an option, no.
Yeah, is it ever a thought that goes by, or is it heard of in the sort of, does it often happen, or with
I don't know, right? I know a lot of people that have died on the streets, whether it's drug overdose, whether it's tablets overdose, whatever. Whether it's deliberate or not, only that person knows.
Right.
Yeah. I'd like to think it's not. But I do see how it's easily done. I was thinking about this earlier on, about what we were going to be talking about, because you gave me a brief what we were going to be talking about, and when I was thinking about it, it was now a lot of us do drink, drugs, whatever, yeah, and myself included at one point, and my attitude always was, there's no way we could get through a lot of the things and deal with a lot of the things that we deal with without it. Whatever their poison is, each to their own. You know, I don't judge nobody at the end of the day. I pray they don't get to that point where they feel they have to, but I can also see how easy it is to get there. Even this time of year, suicide's meant to go up whatever fold, you know, and I can see why. You know, I'm lucky insofar as my family goes, I accepted that a long time ago. I don't like it. I wish it was different. Thankfully, I've just got back in touch with my sister, so that's one step closer.
Yeah. So you've almost got someone.
Yeah, and I've got a few friends I can talk to if I need to.
Are they all homeless as well?
Not all of them, no. The guy I stay with at the moment, he listens. Sometimes I get the feeling he doesn't want to, and when I get that feeling, I shut up, you know. But you know, it's not an easy thing to deal with, those thoughts, because it's easy for them to take over.
So how do you deal with them?
I don't.
The other thing is, you've got.
I don't.
I'd imagine you've got, and this is another question.
Yeah.
You've got a lot of time on your hands. I'd imagine. Would you
Too
agree
much
with that?
time. Yeah.
And time plus bad thoughts is a bad equation.
Absolutely.
So how do you deal with them? Sorry for interrupting.
Do you know what? Yeah, there's been a couple of low points in my life where, you know what? I've just had to give my head a wobble. You know, and you know what? Stop even thinking that way. You know, it's some of us can do that. You know, some of us can't. You know, it's. I like to think I'm quite a level-headed person, and I can see when it's getting to a certain point. Unfortunately, there was once or twice in my life where I wasn't that fortunate, and but I still managed to deal with it. How? I put it down to just being strong-willed. You know, I am a strong-minded person, and
so you just refuse to give in to any thoughts. There's not
it's
necessarily
the easy way out, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, and some people just get to that point where, you know what, they don't think it's the easy way out, but it's better than what they're dealing with, you know, and I genuinely sympathise with those people. I do. It's mental health is such a horrible thing to have to. I am long-term diagnosed with depression, anxiety anyway, so having to deal with all that on top of everything that we deal with is just not easy, you know. And being the way I am, thinking that way, I can only think of somebody who isn't as strong-minded not being able to do that, you know. It's no, I understand. I can't go down that road.
So there's just something within you that's just...
Yeah.
You just refuse to...
I've seen on telly and I've heard it a lot of times, you know, like life will out. You know, it's life just finds a way, you know, and the human body subconsciously has a part of it that will do what it can to survive. And that's why most of us get to that point where that's just unacceptable way of thinking, Unfortunately, like I say, not everyone can think that way. And as much as I sympathise, I don't fully understand, but I kind of get it. I just, personally, I can't go that far. And I hope nobody else does, but that's not going to happen, is it? So,
yeah.
Unfortunately.
No. I understand what you're saying there. It's inspiring to know someone who's got such strong, mentality to keep on going despite.
We do what we do to get by, It's 5 years ago, I would have never believed. If you told me 5 years ago I'd be begging on the streets for money, I'd have laughed in your face. You know what I mean? Not a chance in hell, But when you are backed into a corner and you have no choice, excuse me, it's that or starve. You're going to do what you need to eat. You know what I mean? It's it's needs must at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And I will say never, but because we are the human being is capable of so much, and we don't realise quite what we are capable of until we're backed into that corner and we have to do it, and so little thing, begging, that's nothing compared to what we have to deal with in a lifetime. So it's I'm fascinated by all that kind of. I'm amazed at what we can deal with when you push your mind to it, and when you get knuckle down, get on with it, and do it. You will do what you have to do, mate. It's
Yeah. Again, just another question here then. People, especially in my lifetime, I've often said, when you want something, or when times are tough and that type of thing, look at those beneath you.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And you'll be grateful of where you are. And I know people watching, they'll think, I know people who say this, yeah. Apologies, right, for being
No, not at all.
But they will say, oh, he's homeless in the UK. There's people dying in Syria, being bombed. Kids being blown up, people being raped. So much.
We're lucky
so
here.
On. Yeah, they're lucky. Rather than giving him £10, £20, go send it to there. As much as logically that makes some sort of sense, right?
No, absolutely it does. But
it doesn't help you.
At the same
necessarily,
time,
does it?
Deal with your own backyard before you complain.
So I
or
wanted your thoughts on that.
Criticise somebody else's. You know what I mean?
Right.
This country has got so many problems, and they're mounting every day, especially this year, and it's crazy. I was at my friend's house just the other day, and we were watching telly, and the amount of adverts that came on the telly asking for monthly donations, especially since COVID, it's gone through the roof. They're asking for everything, and I get it. I totally do. There are charities out there that are totally well deserving. But there are also charities or people, even people on the streets, that are being ignored on a daily basis, and like I say, deal with your own backyard before you criticise somebody else's, Yes, they've got it really bad at the moment, but you know what, in the current climate, what can we do? What can we actually do? With all the borders shut down and tier 3, tier 4, whatever, what can we actually do? Yeah? Are we not better off dealing with the problems we've got here first, before?
Does it make it any easier for you living in the position that you're in, thinking about the position that other people are in, like I mentioned, they're in Syria or whatever, in Africa? Does it make it any easier, or is there an element of while I'm still in the situation that I'm in. You know what I mean?
You know what? It's
doesn't necessarily
absolutely
help.
that. It's absolutely that. But at the same time, yeah.
Is there a balance, would you say?
There should be. There should be. You'd think there would be, wouldn't you? The way I look at it, yeah, if I had a low day, for example, and said, oh, what about them over there, and look at me here, yeah, and I think, well, you know what? Nothing's going to change, you know? Even if I was to find a fiver from somewhere and donate it to one of those charities, what is actually going to change?
You need real change.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Nothing is actually going to change. And you know what? Yemen, for example, or Syria, or you know what? They're at war over something. You know what? To be brutally honest, has absolutely nothing to do with us. You know? Now, yes, if we can help, we should help. I have no problems with that. But you know what? Sort your own problems out as well. You know, it's people are more concerned with doing stuff like that than dealing with the stuff that's on their own doorstep, you know. And yet they're so quick to criticise. Oh, look, yet another homeless person sleeping on the streets, you know. Or get a job, or do this, do that. Do you think we don't want to? You know, we don't do this because it's easy. We do this because we have to.
And you didn't do this to yourself per se?
Not at all. No.
You didn't ask for it?
To be honest, I was forced into the situation that snowballed.
Yeah, which is explained in the first video.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. And I wish with all my heart I didn't have to be here. I genuinely do, you know. And if I could do something about it, I would, you know. But unfortunately, there's situations or circumstances that make it slightly difficult. And so I don't listen to these people a lot of the time. It's become water off a duck's back now. You know, I've been called a lot worse, let's put it that way. Nah.
So Rab, moving on.
Yep.
I think I've pried enough into your emotions there. I didn't mean to get too in there.
No.
You know, it's not always nice bringing up the emotions, is it? But it's a good insight for people as well.
Absolutely.
And you know, just to reiterate, the idea of this is not to get someone upset over you or anything like that. It's just for people. As the title says, whatever the title is, I can't remember. Voices of the Unheard. You know, so people get an insight to your thoughts, your minds, and so they're aware, just to spread awareness ultimately. I think, you know, once you identify a problem and are aware of a problem, it's half of the job done.
Absolutely.
If we can get people behind this homeless situation,
I know.
we can make some real change, not just, you know.
The problem in Manchester, I believe, is, for example, down the city centre, Spice. And once people got it into their heads that one homeless person does it, we all do it, you know, and it's a horrible drug. And but once people got it into their heads that they believed that's what we were all doing, it just became so much harder.
So we got worse once the Spice sort of hit the streets.
Yeah. I mean, drugs period, but you know, that was. I remember even seeing it in the papers about this zombie Spice, you know. And I used to see it all the time where they're just zoned out, you know, after having a joint or whatever.
Bad,
you know, it is, yeah. And it's a horrible drug, horrible. I mean, they all are, but I say that's worse than them all.
So, yeah, what I wanted to move on to, so let's hopefully, you know, as I say, not to pry into emotions too much.
No.
What I wanted to move on to is the whole COVID situation at the moment.
What a nightmare.
So, is it? So actually, what? Obviously, there's different sort of topics here. But what I want to ask first is the actual sort of infection or whatever, right?
Right.
How much of the homeless is it infecting? How many people are actually catching COVID?
Do you know what?
Is there any way of knowing? Because
I have come across it once, right, since it came to Britain.
And then, also transmission between homeless, because, you know, how often are you in crowds together and so on and so forth?
Right. The short answer is the only answer I've got, which is I've only come across COVID once, and I was going to a friend's block of flats, and when I knocked at the door, there's paramedics there, and one of the tenants in that block of flats had COVID, and they told me to wait outside just for a couple of minutes while they got him out of the way. Yeah. Now that's the only time I've come across COVID. I know of no homeless so far, touch wood, that have got it. In fact, actually, I'll even go so far as to say, other than that one person who I didn't even know, although he was just around the corner from my mate's flat, I've not even come across it. Although it's meant to be quite rife in Manchester, I'm actually quite surprised at how little contact or how few people I know that have even come across it. You know, I even remember one day sat at St John's on Wilmslow begging, and I think he was Polish or something like that. He was European anyway, and I was talking to him about COVID, and he told me he didn't believe it existed.
There's a lot of people like that.
Because he didn't know anyone at all that had come across it, and he asked me straight out, how many people do you know that have got it or come across it? And when I thought about it, I came up with the same answer, and there you go then. And I'm like, but surely you don't think that means that it doesn't exist, you know?
Do you believe it doesn't exist?
No, I believe it exists.
Yeah.
No, it's,
I was going to label you as crazy then.
Nah, I'm far from crazy, mate.
No, what are you saying?
No, do you know what? I watched a program the other week there about Spanish flu back in 1918,
Yeah.
and I couldn't help but link the two together. And I know that.
Well, it is a flu, isn't it? It's a strain of the flu.
Yeah. But it devastated the world, didn't it? And so yeah, it's quite remarkable how similar the effects are, and how long ago. I mean, because that's like 100 years ago.
Yeah.
You know, and
it's the same sort of thing, I think, isn't it?
Yeah.
So the population of the homeless, you would say, don't
that
seem to be that you know of. Of course, it's all just from your perspective. So we're not going to hold you to it factually.
No. Thank God.
Yeah,
no, I don't know
really
anyone that's had it. No, thankfully.
Yeah, and then sort of a leading on question to that, or however you phrase it, is how quickly are you up to date with the news on restrictions? And because what has happened with us, I say us like we're different people, we're the same people. Apologies for that. You know, we've got a TV in front of us is the difference.
Yeah.
24/7. Phones in our pockets.
A couple of days a week, so do I.
Right.
Yeah.
So would you stay at your mates?
Yeah.
There's Boris.
I'm not bang up to date,
Yeah.
but I know they're talking about going to tier 4.
Exactly. There was constant updates at the start. So yeah, what I'm asking is just how easy is it for you to stay up to date?
I've managed to, like I was saying, I changed my phone number, so I've now got a little bit of internet on my phone, so I can get a little bit of news on that. A few days a week I'm with my mates, so I get news off the telly if I need it, you know. I think I'm as up to date as I can be, you know. But you know what? I don't even think it's about being up to date. I think it's just common sense at the end of the day, you know. It's.
Well, I mean, yeah, agreed, but it does affect you because when shops are closed on Winslow Road because of these updates, then it affects your begging directly.
It does, absolutely.
So if you don't know that tonight, alright, this date, everything's closing, we're going into another lockdown, then you're not aware that, hey, for the next 2 weeks I'm not going to be able to earn any money.
At
So
the
it is
very
actually quite
least, my
important,
mates will
isn't it?
tell me.
Yeah.
At the very least.
So you're in quite a lucky position in that you are quite up to date.
Yeah.
Would you say?
Yeah.
And there are others.
Not
that
all of us
probably
are, but you know, through the grapevine or through news or whatever, you know, we all generally find out soon enough. You know, if we go to tier 4, tomorrow, we'll know by tomorrow night. You know, so when they started doing the curfew at 10 o'clock, we knew pretty much before a lot of people who weren't homeless.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
we have to know these things,
Yeah.
you know. So yeah.
So you're getting the information you need.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Okay, that's it really. Unless there's anything you want to say
You know what?
or anything you want to talk about.
I'm good, mate. You know, I'm fully prepared to answer all the questions that was asked of me. You know, and
totally
I had
appreciate
no
that.
problem with that. No problem whatsoever. I think we've covered it all, to be honest.
Yeah, I'd agree.
COVID to mental health, you know. So thank you for listening anyway.
Yeah.
Little old me.
Oh, come on, man. You're gonna be famous soon, man. Speaking of which, there is a GoFundMe link that's active.
Okay.
You remember it from the previous
I
one?
do, yeah.
So we did manage to raise £40.
Yeah.
And anyone, I mean, no one has, but you know what people are like. If anyone questions where it is or whatever, I've recorded it all and put it on my Instagram.
Yeah.
Rab, and you can
That's
confirm
right.
you'll see
Yeah.
it.
And I did
£40.
at the time. That's right.
Yeah. So yeah, Rab is on Instagram, received it and stuff as well. It's active. I'll put it in the description for this video. You know, if you can't find it somehow magically, you know, just message me. I will reply and send it to you. If you can donate anything, it gets.
Any help
It
would
is
be
to my.
greatly
It's to my
appreciated.
account actually, isn't it?
Yeah.
But it's passed directly onto
Yeah.
Rab. And actually, you have got a bank account now, haven't you?
I do, yes.
So we can look at changing it over.
Yeah. No
And
problem.
to be honest, again, I'm very, you know, I don't think people are going to really donate at the start, to be honest with you. But hopefully,
If they do,
as
they
things
do.
progress,
Yeah.
I just don't want to build
You know.
it up for something.
No,
you know
no,
what I mean?
no.
I'm going to build it up for something.
No. I don't expect anything, but you know.
Yeah, that would be awesome to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks for watching, guys. Basically,
Take care, guys.
Exactly, you know what you're doing, innit? Same as
Yeah,
last
yeah,
video.
yeah.
Hit the like button, subscribe for more content. Cameraman smiling, it's making me smile. Shout out to the cameraman and the massive production crew that I've got. Alright, see you guys.
Fact, serious.